So here are 8 spiritual concepts that will blow your mind and fracture your understanding of this Euclidean meat-space reality that we are all immersed in. Number 1 is known of as the Akashic Records, and it's a popularized idea within the Eastern Vedic school of thought that we all have access to a level of knowledge that has been recorded throughout history. Every single thought, every single idea, every experience has been recorded in the Akasha, which means the sky or the etheric. And ultimately, we can access this, we can be influenced by this if we tap into this. Number 2 is referred to as the extended mind, and this deals with the idea that consciousness is not local. It is non-local. Like a radio, you do not find that the consciousness resides within that radio. The radio is able to tap into a frequency, is able to act as a conduit, accessing the knowledge or the information from something that is non-local to the actual radio. And through the radio, you can transceive information that is at the core of who you are. Number 3 is astral traveling. And it's predicated on the idea that, as Yoda would say, luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. And it's this idea that we are more than just this physical body. There are many different bodies that it houses. So there's the physical body, but there are also subtle bodies like the etheric body and then the astral body. Now, the astral body is a projection of your thoughts, your emotions, your experiences, and essentially when you sleep, when you are not in this physical conscious state, I mean, it's always with you, but essentially when you are asleep, this is when the astral body goes out. It's connected to something known as the silver cord, and it's able to gain experiences outside of this physical body when you were in this other state of consciousness. And when you were astral traveling, you were able to see everything that is within this world, within all of reality, within another body. Number 4, synchronicity. What is synchronicity? Ever been thinking about someone and then shortly after you receive a call from them? Now that is an example of synchronicity. Now I know a lot of the skeptics would say that's what you call a coinky-dink, coincidence. But the reality is that there are no such thing as coincidences. Everything is connected. Sometimes it may not be detectable, but when you pull on one string in nature or the universe, you pull on everything else, as Leonardo da Vinci said. And ultimately, synchronicities are when the universe is telling you something, subjectively speaking, but when you realize that there is a connection to what is going on and you become conscious of that connection. Number 5, remote viewing. Now this is a concept that is rooted in the idea that human consciousness can extend beyond the physical body. And you'll find that the military, the CIA typically have used this in order to access information about bases or anything that could not be accessed by them. Now, remote viewing is typically when a viewer, someone that has extrasensory perception, but essentially it's perception that we all have, just they train themselves to develop this to a heightened state, is able to use their latent awareness to gather information about something by projecting themselves to see that image, to see that thing, and gather information about it. Number 6, biocentrism. Now, whereas a lot of people will tell you that the universe creates life, the universe creates everything we see around it, creates consciousness. If there is consciousness, it's created by the universe. Biocentrism is the idea that everything that we see, everything within the universe is a product of consciousness. This is really at the heart of spirituality, of God, Krishna, Buddha, Allah, call it what you will, that ultimately it is consciousness, the first mover, that which is that creates everything else around us. And this is at the heart of nature, reality. And we cannot understand science, spirituality, or anything for that matter without understanding that consciousness is integral to that. Number 7 is lucid dreaming. Now, lucid dreaming is simply being conscious, being aware of the fact that you're dreaming. Now, most people dream, but most people can't remember their dreams. Now, when you become conscious when you were in this dream, so rapid eye movement dreaming, so you are in a deep sleep, you now have access to all these latent abilities. You're able to control your dream, manipulate your reality. You're able to fly, you're able to do things, and you're able to access these latent abilities that you couldn't do in this non-conscious state. And that is powerful. And in a sense, the entire world is a dream. And when you realize that you have these abilities when you are awake, it is a powerful thing. Number 8, the 7th sense. So most people are familiar with the 6th sense. This deals with extrasensory perception. You see so many movies about people that are able to see ghosts, that are able to see things before they happen. And I would say that we all have these latent abilities within us. We just merely need to tap into them. And whereas most people are familiar with the sixth sense, they're not familiar with the idea of the seventh sense, which deals with the attainment of Christed consciousness. This is when there is a full activation of your higher self, the crown chakra, making reference to Kundalini activation. So essentially where the Kundalini energy, this is referencing the Vedic school of thought, has risen and reached the point of full activation within the crown chakra. And this is where you gain the title of the Christ. In many of the ancient texts where you see depictions of people with a halo around them, around their heads, this is someone that's attained Christ consciousness. So Christ is not a figure, it is a title. When you attain the seventh sense, this is when you have Christ consciousness. And it deals with having an awakened level of consciousness, being connected to source, your higher self, having an understanding of reality in its truest form, and having this holistic understanding of heart, mind, body, soul. That is the seventh sense.